So let's get into part two. And I want to start out by focusing on the engine turn bezel. I didn't realize that I had picked up a watch or had fallen in love with a watch with a discontinued bezel. I just really liked the look of it. And coming to find out, looking on various sites online, the history, this was an option kind of the middle of the road, which matched exactly what I was trying to do here. I wanted a watch that wasn't too flashy, but yet you still knew it was a Rolex. It's something that I wanted to wear to work, and it was like, hey, this is a quality piece. And when you look at what's available now in the marketplace, it's kind of nice to know that what I'm wearing is an original item, but it's now kind of vintage or collectible, that you're not going to be able to get this anywhere else. I mean, some people may not care for it, and the fluted bracelet is the most popular, mainly because it can bounce the light off and bring attention to the dial. But again, this hit all the notes that I was looking for. So just another amazing fact with this watch. So you're going to watch me attempt to take the bracelet off with the wrong tools. Still don't have the right tools. What I will tell any Rolex owner out there is you better know what you're doing if you're going to take any of these bracelets off, because it ain't easy. I'll put it to you that way. But let me walk you through my experience with Rolex. And so going back to the original, or the first part, I paid around $2,000 for the watch. The watch has obviously gone up in value. I've had it since 2010, 2013, and it's pretty amazing. It's a great watch. I've really enjoyed it. But I've always had that nagging suspicion in the back of my head: is this a real Rolex? I bought it secondhand. It was before Chrono 24. What am I really dealing with here? And then to top it off, the Jubilee bracelet not being correct. Again, went on the websites, looked at all the markings on the watch and the bracelet, and everything matched up. The paperwork matched up time-wise. It was period correct. The bracelet seems to be a year or two newer old, but yet still correct for the period. And so at the end of the day, I was feeling good about everything, but I was still kind of worried that, all right, somebody went out and bought a bracelet after the fact, put it on this watch, and, this is what I got. So I decided, okay, I'm going to, from the rumors I had heard with Rolex, they're very strict about everything they do in their servicing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take the bracelet off, I'm going to get it all prepped, and I'm going to give very clear directions to the repair people. So I called. And then let me back up a little bit. One of the decisions I made was I could have put it in the mail and just done it online, and I think it would have gone to Dallas to be serviced. If you're into watches and you've got a Rolex repair facility near you, I can't understand why you would just mail a watch off. I mean, it just seems boring. This is part of the experience. It's out of my way to go to LA to go down and drop off a watch, but to me, I was looking forward to the experience. I didn't get to buy this watch new. I didn't get to do anything that a lot of people do with a new watch. So this was, if I was going to spend this money, I was like, let's go have some fun. And yeah, fun I did. It was a great experience. I had done this right as COVID restrictions were easing up to allow businesses to open back up. It was still masks and temperature checks, and I had to have a special time so I could get in there and not be around any other customers. And it was just one employee, and I always wondered what was it like before COVID. But you'll get to see a little bit of the building. I took some photos on the outside. The road was under construction, so there really wasn't much to see. But the customer service was amazing. They had parking for me. They had everything covered down there. It was really surprisingly easy. But then working with them on the phone, I said, I've got a case back with a sticker on it, and I want the sticker preserved. I don't want the case back finished or cleaned or anything. I actually wanted a brand new case back because I wanted to maintain the heritage of the watch. And they said, sure, not a problem. They would be happy to accommodate. And I said, please make sure that's written in. And they said, absolutely. And then they informed me that, yeah, the dial would need to be replaced, the hands would need to be replaced, and most likely the crystal, along with any of the mechanical parts inside, so that the watch was running correctly as it was supposed to. Along with all of those parts that they were removing, I said, well, I'd like to keep those as well. And I found out talking to Rolex that you can choose between having a core fee, and they apply that to a reduction in the cost of the parts for the watch, or you can waive that and pay the full cost of the parts. So it was about a 30% difference between giving them the core or just keeping it and paying full price. And because I wanted to keep the history of the watch, this is the watch I'm going to have for the rest of my life. I said, "Yep, happy to pay it. Go ahead." Um, Basically, the repair came out to be about $1,000, and with the bracelets, it's amazing how much they've gone up in price. I was assuming bracelets were about $300-400 nowadays, and maybe even higher. They're running around $1,000. If you want the Oyster bracelet, it's about $800 to $1,000 from Rolex. If you want the Jubilee, it's more than that. It's about $100 more than whatever the Oyster is going for. So, taking this bracelet off and then taking a shot, I said, I think this is correct. And they stated that this watch actually came either in a Jubilee or an Oyster. So what it looks like is both the dealer and I were wrong. This was a watch that had a Jubilee bracelet. I had found exactly what I wanted, and I had thought that I just found somebody's interpretation of what they liked and what I would have liked. And instead, it actually all matched up. I had gotten lucky and pulled it off. So, we're going to get into what the watch looked like after the cleaning. But to close this out, dropping off the watch with Rolex, the treatment of Rolex, at the end of the day, everything was worth it. For me, for others, they may not spend this kind of money, but for me in this hobby, yeah, it was worth it. So now that I'm home, let's walk through what I got from Rolex. They put the watch in the standard green little satchel they give you. They added this important reminder tag. And for me, the satchel's cool. Never had it, never, I had this used, so it's kind of the experience. Next was the customer service report, basically the invoice, breaks down everything I paid. This service was about $1,000 for everything, which I didn't mind paying at all, because you get this card, and this card demonstrates to me that this is an authentic Rolex. It's fully serviced, and it's good for as long as this warranty is on the watch repair. Next was all the parts that I asked to have returned. So the original parts were individually bagged. You can see here the case back with the original sticker untouched. That's exactly what I wanted. Next, we get the lens. So I have the original lens that goes with the watch from the purchase. Here is the dial as it was. So I have that for the historical piece, and all the hands that they pulled off and put into this container. So, in essence, I got everything I wanted. Yeah, did I need to spend this kind of money? No. But my opinion is I won't have to take this watch back in for 10 years. Who knows, maybe longer. So, peace of mind, it's a Rolex. And here it is. And I was blown away. I've had some watches in, and they're on the channel. They've been serviced, and they've been lightly cleaned and, back in operation, and no big issue. But what Rolex did to this watch transformed it. I cannot believe what they did. It looks brand new. All the scratches were out. I didn't think this watch could ever look like this. I mean, if you've held a brand new Rolex and seen how it glistens and shines and how it reacts to you when you hold it. This is the same experience. I was so pleased, especially now with the market the way it is with sports watches, steel watches. Getting a Rolex now is so hard and so expensive, and to be holding the watch that really makes my heart sing every time I see it, something I love to take and wear to work, look the way this does, it's amazing. And then when I started to manipulate the time and the date, I've never felt it so crisp. The mechanics in there are just like new. It is a joy to spend time with the watch and manipulating it, working with the date when I need to. I'd actually say the only down part is now that the watch is so nice, I'm a little worried about wearing it more often. I'm very careful with it. And to be honest, that's great. I mean, Rolex did an amazing job. The service center did an amazing job. To me, this is an amazing watch. Others may not care for it, but it's mine and I love it. And here's a side by side, before on the left and after on the right. Thanks for watching.